A man expecting a leadership answer from a woman. That's the issue. What I think is going on with a lot of relationships, because we as a culture don't have one set way of doing things like other cultures. When those type of issues come about, the men, such as Will, is like, Diamond, what am I supposed to do? How do I fix it? How do I get you to understand and listen? How can I convince you? How can I have this debate with you where I can win over your mind? How can I do this? You're just supposed to come this way. You know, the Bible doesn't say clean your wives and lead your wives and teach your wives. It says you're already supposed to know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, guess what? You're not marriage material, Diamond.
Black women's lack of accountability is the biggest problem in our community and culture.
I don't think that's the biggest problem in our community, because men of structure and order could avoid them. I think the biggest problem in our community is the vitriol that's spoken publicly about each other. So whether it's men speaking about women or women speaking about men, because people outside of our community wouldn't know what problems we had in our community if we weren't vocal. And if people outside of our community didn't know what was wrong in our community, they couldn't pour gasoline on it. So we're opportunists. And so therefore people do what they do. I had a conversation with someone about Jews yesterday, and they said, you couldn't disrespect Jews and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you're right, because we don't know the backbiting and the inner fighting that Jews do to one another. But everybody knows what we do to each other. So if you want to eradicate the problems completely, you first have to put a muzzle on it. Once you have a muzzle on it and you can't get outsiders to feed the fire by pandering to women or pandering to men, then you have an opportunity to get to the nitty gritty. So in this regard, it's not on either one sex, it's on both of them, me included. I'm a huge culprit, because I'll be calling Ish out, and that's a problem.
All right. Sweeney, Black women's lack of accountability is the biggest problem in our community and culture.
I'm not going to say it's the biggest problem, but all you got to do is watch the last 2 hours of this conversation. I'm going to let it sit there.
Okay. Darwin, Black women's lack of accountability is the biggest problem in our community and culture.
I would say that's putting the cart before the horse, because you got to have something to hold them accountable to. So I would say it's lack of accurate or proper affiliation. The things that they're affiliated with, the things that they attach themselves to, is not in the best interest for said community, for the Black community, for the progression of Black people. The things that they attach themselves to, they devote themselves to, they have a passion for, they prioritize in life, it is not in line with the best interests of the Black community. We've heard women say they prioritize their careers, they prioritize their paychecks, whatever money, nothing family, nothing aligning themselves with a man and divine order or anything like that. It's all about their own individual endeavors. So I would say the things that they affiliate themselves with is in a negative interest towards their community. And I've discovered, or I've came to the understanding that they do know that. You know, it's not something that they don't realize. It's not something that is hidden or something like that. They actually know that, and they just don't give a damn. Because I think in this era of the world, or in the timeline, they're in a position to do whatever the hell they want with their body, their mind, soul, spirit, whatever, and they like it. They love it. You know, they don't want to go. They do not want to turn back to the way things used to be, or any idea of any type of structure, if and only if the man is in the top of the hierarchy of that structure. But if it's a parallel structure where it's man and woman, then they may just entertain it. Even that over time has its loopholes, because naturally a woman clings to male hierarchy, so it'll fall on its ass later. But yeah, they're affiliated with the wrong thing, and it's very loose. So like, they will be affiliated with one movement or one trend or with one thing, and then the next year they will navigate to something. It depends on who they're inspired by, and usually it's some type of entertainer, is some type of liberal group or something like that that's pushing empowerment. They will hop on that and they will completely ignore the melanin in their skin, for all sakes of their own personal endeavors and personal interests.
Okay. Aisha, Black women's lack of accountability is the biggest problem in our community and culture.
I definitely wouldn't say it's the biggest problem. I think that you guys know systematic racism and white supremacy is the biggest problem in our community. But I also can't ignore that, just like tonight, every time that I try to hold Black women accountable, I get called a pick me, as if I need to be picked. I get picked. So no, I just think that sometimes like my views align a little differently because I am conservative. I am from Texas, and I do think that women should hold other women accountable, especially Black women. Like when we don't agree with something, it's okay to shame people. Like I welcome the shame. Okay. We align ourselves with agendas that don't align with our culture. By nature, Black people are conservative, but yet in the same breath, you were like, oh, Black women are doing an amazing job. No, we haven't. Have you seen all these little boys turning gay? Because they was raised by these mamas who don't care to have any masculine role models in their life, and they welcoming their sons to walk around here with dresses and skirts, and we marching and we aligning with these people, right? To me, the accountability does somehow, it falls on Black women because, as stated on this panel, although most of the time it's no fault of our own, we are the ones that are left raising these children. So to sit and say, well, it's y'all fault because y'all left. Well, we here now. Like you said, we the best moms ever. We can't be if this is the generations that are coming up behind us. So I think that Black women do need to hold themselves accountable and feel responsible directly for what's going on in the community. And I feel like we do ourselves a disservice when we just point the finger at men, because it allows the cycle to continue. That's just, and I feel like I'm Black first. So I know, Dorian, you said, you guys say, oh, I'm a woman first. No, I'm absolutely I'm Black first, then I'm a woman. They see Black. That's just the way the Western civilization is set up. And I am for my people first. So that's how I feel. I'll end.
All right, go ahead, Di. Black women's lack of accountability is the biggest problem in our community and culture.
I just think lack of accountability is on both parts. I feel like by continuously telling women like, oh, you don't know how to raise them, like it's your fault. You should take accountability for the fucked up households. You should take accountability for the sons not making enough. You should take accountability for not knowing how to lead. You should take accountability. You should take. And by saying that, y'all, like when it comes down to younger women, like when I talk to my brother, baby mama, she like, well, I have to. He say I can't do it, so I'm gonna show him I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show him I'm gonna do it. It's like by y'all making these things, like to me, if the Black community, if y'all are leaders and leaders lead the community and they lead the household, why is Black women taking most of the accountability? It makes no sense to me. Why isn't the fathers taking the accountability? Why isn't the uncles taking, like, why isn't the leader if right now the country go to shit, you know who they gonna blame? They not gonna blame the mayor. They're not gonna blame, no, they're gonna blame President Trump. When the country was at shit last time, they didn't blame the cities and the mayors and no, they blamed Biden. All of the Republican Party blamed Biden. So by y'all steadily putting all these issues on the Black women, in our head, because as women, what we do is when we're in a household and we see something is wrong, we want to fix it. We want to fix it. We want to fix it. So by telling us this is our problem, guess what we're going to try to do? Fix it. And guess what black men not going to try to do? Fix it. And I'll land there.
Okay.
Can I respond to that? Or if you don't want me to, I don't.
You can go ahead and respond.
So, Di, let me ask you a question if I can. A small build. We don't have to dive deep into this. Do you believe that we men are, in fact, the leaders? Okay. So if we are, in fact, the leaders, do you believe you guys have should you guys defy our leadership or should you follow us?
Depends.
Well, if it depends, then are we the leaders?
Yes.
Well, if you can choose not to follow me, am I the leader?
Don't leaders have followers who choose to follow them or not?
Then if you don't choose to follow me, I'm not the leader. You are the one that makes me the leader, not me. So if you and I were in a relationship, I gave a command, a direction, and you chose not to follow it, am I the leader?
Yes.
I digress.
Okay.
Let me see if I can understand what you mean by that, Di. Because I was in the military and I was a leader. Man, regardless of the fact, if a soldier deviated from my order, it didn't make me unbecoming of a leader. It just made him insubordinate. Is that what you mean by? Is that what you mean? I think that's what you mean. I don't know if that cleared it up for you.
Okay. See, y'all do this all the time, and I'm okay with it, Darwin. You did it, and I think you shouldn't have done it. But let's go from there. So if I'm still the leader and she is insubordinate, that means I gave a command or direction or suggestion or whatever word we want to use. And I said, we're headed north. And she chose not to go north. But then when things go south for whatever reason, clearly if she's going east and I'm going north, we're going to have a problem because we're not going in the same direction. So now we have an automatic conflict. Even if we both have the best of intentions, it's an automatic conflict. So now that we have a conflict, now we have a person who's not listening to me. So when I talk to her, the only thing I can do, I either can talk with a strong, heavy hand, or I have to come more so like pandering, trying to appease her to try to get back on the same page. This idea of us having a middle ground is not there, because at the end of the day, I am being, my leadership is being compromised. So now that we have this conflict, we have this conflict because you were insubordinate. How does the leader get you back on track if you're not even taking his commands?
Ain't that something? And look, hold on. Let me ask this question, Vaughn. Ain't that crazy? Okay. A man expecting a leadership answer from a woman. That's the issue. What I think is going on with a lot of relationships, because we as a culture don't have one set way of doing things like other cultures. When those type of issues come about, the men, such as Will, is like, Diamond, what am I supposed to do? How do I fix it? How do I get you to understand and listen? How can I convince you? How can I have this debate with you where I can win over your mind? How can I do this? You're just supposed to come this way. You know, the Bible doesn't say clean your wives and lead your wives and teach your wives. It says you're already supposed to know what to do. And if you don't know what to do, guess what? You're not marriage material, Diamond. And you guys are insubordinate, because obviously the other cultures, they don't really want to tell y'all the ups and downs that they had to go through with their children to prepare them for their wife. But we don't have that. All we have is each other. You got to put in that work depending on your wife. There's not one cookie cut answer for that question. Some women might need you to be empathetic for you to lead. Some women had too much empathy in their childhood. Some of them need you to be a little bit more aggressive and get stern and sturdy. There's no specific answer to that. But if you enjoy that woman and her company, you're going to find a way. A man who is determined, he's going to find a way to get his woman.
So because we don't have all the details, we don't know what type of man he is, what type of woman she is. We don't know their past transgressions. We don't know how much they love each other or support each other. The only information we have in this example is the man gave some type of direction or command, and it was not respected. It was not abided by.
I have a question, Will.
Okay, what's your question?
When leaders lead, do people always follow without like any type of like, is it just always perfect? Do leaders not have issues they have to go through when leading?
Yes,
Are there
yes.
I think Darwin said he said he was in the military. Like he said he had insubordinates. He didn't just say fuck them, get them off my crew.
Hold on,
Some
I
of
didn't
them
say
he
that.
probably had to put to work.
What's
Some
your
of them he
question?
probably had to talk to. So my question is does leadership look perfect?
No. So leadership is not perfect. So if a woman is insubordinate, as a man, if he wants to maintain a relationship with that woman, he will have to figure out a way to get her back on track. Now, we didn't have all the details. So I was asking you, but you don't want it to be a conversation. I'm perfectly fine with telling you how things should be.
It. If there was a lack of details, that's on your part. You brought up the hypothetical situation. So I was just answering it based on the details I didn't have.